Hello, so today I will be lecturing on my infographic presentation about adult obesity, which is a growing public health concern. So I broke down my infographic into 6 sections, starting with an introduction, then following along with the public health impact, epidemiology, the current issues, recommendations, as well as my references at the very end. So to start with the introduction, obesity refers to being overweight and is determined by the body mass index. Any individual with a BMI of over 30 is considered obese. Now, various sources have confirmed that their predictions of obesity trends will be on the rise heavily over the course of the next few years, as well as obesity being continuously discussed as an issue that has to be addressed because of how significant of a problem it is. And it has become one of the most problematic epidemics in the United States. Certain populations in America are and also will be more affected by this epidemic more than others. And these populations typically include the minority populations and individuals of lower income. Next, moving on to public health impact. So this is a significant public health issue because obesity can relate to many other major health problems and can sometimes even cause death. So these additional health concerns include heart disease, diabetes, blood pressure, and sometimes even some types of cancer. The concern for obesity continues to increase as obesity is a leading national epidemic that affects 1 in 3 adults and 1 in 6 children in the United States, as well as having several other countries that have noticed the issue with obesity levels rising, with the statistics showing even double or triple of the escalation in prevalence of obesity within the last 3 decades. The alarming increase in obesity also foreshadows many burdens to chronic diseases in the future and leaves a strain on the healthcare systems worldwide. However, much of the reason for obesity is due to urbanization, the lack of physical activity, having an increased consumption of very high calorie processed foods, and even a sedentary lifestyle. In the middle, we have epidemiology. So the graph on the left shows the increased percentage of the rate of obesity starting from 1999 to 2018. And the obesity percentage in 1999 was 30.5%, which then increased more than 10% in 2008 to 42.4%. The little graphic at the very bottom shows 1 of 3 adults who are obese and then 1 of 6 children who are obese. And it was estimated that an annual medical cost of obesity here in the United States is roughly $173 billion in 2009, and the medical cost for adults who had obesity was $1,861 higher than the medical cost of a typical healthy individual. It is also estimated that by year 2030, roughly 38% of the world's adult population will be overweight, and another 20% will be obese. The map following shows the obesity percentages of adults by state, and it's very clear that all 50 of our states have an increased amount of rates of obesity, and basically showing that the whole country has issues regarding this pandemic or epidemic. Following along on the bottom left-hand corner, we have its current issues, and many of the current issues regarding obesity have to do with the childhood obesity rates rising as well. In the section above, I have mentioned that 1 in 6 children are obese, and much of the research backing this up has suggested that childhood obesity can very easily carry on to adulthood due to regular eating and lifestyle habits. As the percentages of childhood obesity continue to grow, so will the number of adult obesity, again, because this is just based on habits of eating as well as lifestyle habits. And in order to combat the increased percentage of obesity, many changes have been implicated. One of the more prominent changes to reducing the rising numbers is implicating healthier meals at school, as many children tend to get most of their nutritional requirements throughout the school day, as well as changes in school meals, increasing the number of fruits and vegetables that are consumed, banning trans fats, as well as implementing better education programs in order to inform children of the importance of healthier meals. Lastly is the recommendations I have for this growing public health concern. And because there are multiple ways to trying to solve this public health problem, one of the ways that I think is best to move forward with is by solving the problem at the root. And so methods such as implementing classes in school to teach children to make easy and healthy meals is one of them. Not only does this educate the child on benefits of eating healthy food, but it also prepares them for the future to build habits to eating less processed foods and cooking their own foods, which is also significantly healthier than purchasing fast food or getting takeout. Other methods, such as a junk food tax, could also be partially beneficial as well. However, taxes like this can only really go so far, declining the rapidly growing rates of obesity may take a while with the junk food tax. This tax also only works if the individual finds the unhealthy or junk food unworthy of its price because of its tax. However, others may be able to justify paying a slightly higher price for the item, depending on the amount that is being taxed. However, ultimately, you can only do so much because it is the environment that heavily influences our overall health. Those that have a healthy environment with positive attitudes towards food and access to nutritional and much healthier food have a lower chance of being obese in comparison to individuals who live in underserved neighborhoods or food swamps, have a much higher chance of falling into habits and continuing the consumption of unhealthy foods that lead to the individual becoming obese. And then on the very right-hand side, I just have my references and the sources that I have used. Thank you.